But again, I want to say a few words about the program, but before that, I want to thank everybody for coming. It's really an honor that you all are here. It's a very strange occasion, I would say. Maybe once in a lifetime for me, maybe for many, because Nova is, it's an interesting, I would say, enterprise that produces documentary on science, but this is the first time they decided to do it on engineering. So let me give you the story behind it. The story goes that in November 2023, last year, I received an email from PBS, but Nova is actually based in Boston. So they call themselves GmbH. I don't know what the extended version is, but that's what the email read. So I didn't know what it meant. It said Nova, GmbH, PBS. I had no idea. Obviously, you delete junk mail. I deleted it, forgot about it. 2.5 weeks later, 5th of December, they sent me another email saying, wanted to follow up, are you interested to communicate with us and meet about a possible documentary feature of your work? That was a little strange at the point. I sent that email up the chain to the department. The department people thought it was a scam, spam. They pushed it up and I said, are you sure? They're like, all right, let's check. So they pushed it up the chain, it went to the college, and the college people contacted the UT Central community. And the Central Communication people said, no, just get back to them right away. This is PBS Nova, they're real, they're based off of Boston, called GmbH, you should do this. Immediately I replied. When I replied on December 5th, a week later they met with me on Zoom. I had no idea what's coming. They met with me, they were very tentative, no promises, like we are exploring. The first thing they told me is what actually blew my mind. Nova has been operating since 1974. They produce science documentaries on all sorts of different topics, mostly on animal life, insects, nature, as well as space. You probably have seen a lot of astronomy and space travel, NASA-related documentaries over the years. But they are documentary people. That's who we know Nova for, right? I mean, that's what they do. When they reached out to me, I said, I'm not a scientist, I'm an engineer. They said, we are completely aware of that, you're an engineer. We found out about your project through a tech brief. So Tech Briefs is an online platform. They often post other people's writings online. So one of the Cockrell School of Engineering writer, you can say editor, he's a journalist, so he wrote a short piece on me. His name is Nat Levy. Nat Levy's piece was picked up by Tech Briefs, and Tech Briefs published it, and they saw it, and that's how they communicated with me. So they met with me, long story short, over that hour they learned about my research mostly, but mostly they were interested in this particular work that we're gonna watch today. After that, 4 months of really excruciating pain for me and my former graduate student, Stetson Rolls, to explain to them what is going on. These guys are professionals in photography, sound mixing, not in engineering. They told me that Nova's 50th year anniversary is this year. They are launching a new series for engineers only. And this is one of those episodes that they want to film about. And then they traveled with me to the site and came to UT Austin, and they filmed for 40 plus hours with me, my colleague, my student, former student Stetson Rowles, and current student Bushra, who was also helping us out in the process. I will tell you a little bit about the project. The project is very interesting. It merges or converges a tradition of Navajo pottery. Navajos have been making pottery for a very long time, and the potter that we work with is a third generation potter. We asked her, how long have you been doing pottery for? And she says, since my birth. Our mom was a potter, our grandma was a potter, and grandfather was a potter, and so on. So pottery is the ancient tradition that Navajos use, and we are taking it and changing it. This episode is called PBS Nova Building Stuff, Change It. So change what you use it typically for. They use pottery for carrying water, storing water, drinking water, right? And many other purposes. But now we have changed the pottery, incorporating advanced materials, nanomaterials, that can remove radionuclides from water. So you will learn a lot about the background. I don't want to, give you guys anything more about that. So let Nova tell you the story. They're much better storytellers than I am. But the point is that I am really honored that they featured me, my group, this project, which I think is very valuable. For one particular reason, I have said that, but I want to say it in front of you all again. We as scientists and engineers, we often are pretty gung-ho about our abilities and intellect. We think we know how to solve a problem just by sitting in our desks or doing research in our labs. Really, do we? Then why are so many problems around? Why are we worried about climate change? Why is there an existential crisis right now? We can't really solve the problems just by ourselves. However, the indigenous communities have been around much longer than science. Science has been around for only 500 or so years, since Newton, if you want to really call it like, hardcore science. Before that, there was no science. But people have been around for 70,000 years since cognitive revolution, but humans, Homo sapiens, if we believe in evolution, is probably 300,000 years old. We are still here. We are not extinct. And it's not because of science necessarily, it's because of our ability and aptitude to adapt, to change, and to really make the world a place that's habitable. So I respect that. I want to really bring indigenous knowledge to the forefront. I am not contributing anything for them. I am borrowing their knowledge. This is something that is very important for us to understand. I am not superior to them. I'm not superior to Deanna. She's an equal author, equal contributor, and that's how I view it. I want to name a few people, particularly who are here, and thank. First off, there's one of my friends coming from Dallas. He'll be here, Bhavna Karim, in a few minutes. He's driving in. I'll thank him again when he comes. My neighbor Ron is here, his wife Jasmine, they're here for the first time, so thank you Ron for being here. My elder brothers and younger brothers and friends are here, so I want to start from on the right side here and go around the room and name everybody. So thank you Shams Bhai for being here, Rabiul Bhai, he has gone with me in Alaska in expeditions. Thank you Saiful Bhai for everything you do always, thank you for being here. Riyadh, thank you for being here and doing the sound system for us. Thank you, Shafat. I really appreciate you coming in for the first time. I'll skip humanity for a second. Thank you, Taporsda, for being here. Thank you, Liton Bhai. Thank you, Emil Bhai. Thank you, Riza Galib Bhai. That's kind of his title from now on. He writes ghazals these days. Thank you, Esrar, Aftab. And thank you, who else is here? Rumi Bhai is here. Of course, my brother Ashfaq Bhai is here. My students are here, but before that, Bhabis, Izzat Bhabi, Lima Pa, you guys have always helped us and kind of held us together as a family. So without you guys, we are really nobody. Monami Apu, where are you? Right there. Thank you very much. Again, you are no less than a family, and you guys are why we are here for. Bhabi, thank you for being here. Apu, thank you for coming. Bhabi, thank you for coming. Who else is here? Sumaira, thank you for coming. Who am I missing? Bhabi, right there, thank you. There's Rumi Bhai's wife, Bhabi, thank you for coming. Bhabi, thank you. I'm just calling everybody Bhabi, just to expedite things. Sorry. We have a few more minutes left, 4 minutes. So before I kind of thank my wife, I want to thank all my students, my former students. Dr. Sabaraya, Indu Sabaraya is here. She did PhD with me, an extraordinary talent. Indu lives in Austin now, and Indu's partner is Nila. Are you married now? Okay. All right. So Nilav is here. Thank you, Nilav, for coming. My current students are here. So Bushra Sonmez, she is a senior PhD student from Turkey. Thank you, Bushra, for coming. And Mehmet is Bushra's husband. He's right there. He's also a PhD student at UT Austin. Another PhD student, master/PhD student, I hope, Saida Jannat. She came from Buet. She's here. Thank you, Saida. Himadri Sarkar. He also just joined my group from Buet. Himadri actually will be taking over this project, so no pressure, Himadri. But yeah, so Himadri will be working on it. And then Norina, she's also a Bangladeshi student, a PhD student who is in my class, and I think she's working with Mary Jo Kirisitz. I think I covered everybody and the kids. So thank you, Ishan, for all your help. He's up there. And of course, my daughter Naisa, you know how much help she is. And all the other kids who are here. I want to thank my wife. Everything that you're seeing, eating, breathing in, including my existence, is her. So I am not saying it because she's around the corner. It is genuinely true. She has helped me, my career, of course, my children, literally and figuratively, for the longest time. I know her for 27 years now, and we are married for 23 years, a couple of years away from 25 years. So I'm genuinely thankful. She actually has put together all the decor that you see, but I want to point to one particular corner over here on the right-hand side. There's a big sundial that you see. That's all the corners that you see, the edges that are sun rays. Those are actually feathers of Navajo chief. And then it has water and other earth elements at the center. And right underneath there are two pottery pieces. The one on the left, the white one, is made by Stetson Rawls, who is a potter who actually led this particular project from the front. Is my former PhD student, now a professor or assistant professor at Georgia Southern University. And the one on the right that you see, the dark one, this is classic. You're going to see it in Nova, exactly same color. They don't change color. You may see a lot of intricate art in there. They're all made up. They're not real. This is the real deal, the Navajo pottery. That's Deanna So, my colleague, my elder sister. She's 60. You would see her. Extraordinary human being. I am so thankful that she has, brought me in her home and really kind of called me her brother. That's really precious to me. So as you can see, that right-hand side corner at the backdrop is the sun, that beats down tradition of Navajos, and in the front are the two pottery pieces made by a researcher in science and the tradition bearer, Deanna So. So this is what encapsulates today's moment and show. So I think this should start any minute. I won't take any longer. I want to say that in this particular episode, there are multiple projects that they will show. Nova does a story. They don't just do a documentary with interviews. It's going to be us acting. I'm a horrible actor. So you will see how bad I am. But more importantly, you will see a story evolving. And they told me they kept my research project for the last because they said we wanted to end this with a bang. So again, I don't know whether that's a consolation prize, but I don't think so. Wall Street Journal did a review on this episode, and they covered our particular research project particularly. So it is important, I felt, to mention that. So if you guys want to watch the whole documentary, you're welcome to watch. It's going to be loud. If you don't want to watch the whole thing and only tune in at the end or second half when our project shows, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. But I'm hoping that it's going to be interesting and exciting. So again, thank you everybody for coming. I'm truly grateful. It's a genuine honor. So thank you. I will now turn on the volume, okay?
Mesmerized. I'm lost for words. And it's very hard for me to, I couldn't realize that I wouldn't be able to speak. Just let me get myself together first. Okay. When I first came to this country many years ago as a graduate student, I had never heard of NOVA or PBS. The very first memories of myself as a graduate student, when I lived in a one-bedroom damp and dank building. There was a black and white television in the common room. And what surprised me the most were two things. One, Nova, and second, the History Channel, not History Channel, but black and white footage of the Second World War, which I had never seen back in Bangladesh. So that was my first introduction to Nova. But throughout these years, I always thought, people who are in Nova, you will never see them. They belong somewhere else in the stratosphere. They're a different type of people. They're just not us. They're way above us. We are just the common viewers of the program. And then came eventually that 9 or 10 part series in Nova, where they follow an incoming student batch in Harvard Medical School. They're all 22 years old, and they follow them for the next 10 to 12 years into their career. Eventually, Nova followed them for 12 years and produced this show of 10 episodes where the younger people became older, they became big doctors, graduating from Harvard. Some became drug addicts. Some became, single in their own lives. But then I realized the hugeness of Nova, what it can do or can show us about people. Then many years after that, I was working in a defense project, and I happened to have very close interaction with a mathematics professor in Brooklyn University, Gregory Chudnovsky. He is considered the greatest living mathematician in the world today. He cannot walk without a stick. He's mostly confined to his bed. And during my interaction with him over the last 10 years, he developed a tumor in his eyes, and one of his eyes could not see. And I realized how brilliant the man was. How brilliant. I considered him my guru. I will always consider him my guru. And he appeared on Nova along with his brother, and they introduced him and his work that they did on some mathematical issues and how they implemented some things. And then my previous belief only got cemented, that only people like Gregory, Professor Chudnovsky, can be on Nova. And he still holds the record today of calculating the umpteenth number, decimal point of number pi in the fastest algorithm. And he was featured in Nova. Then I thought, okay, everything is good. And then when Naveed told me that he was going to be on Nova, I was just so proud, so proud. Our Naveed, from us, he has done phenomenal work. This is not a collection he has used. People reached out to him because of the merit of his work. And you can see. And now I'm so proud of him. And then think of his parents, how proud they must be from wherever they are watching. And we must believe they are watching. And what Naveed has done, Nova has received like 15 Emmy Awards, some 5 Peabody Awards. NSF, for the first time, their People's Choice Award, they have awarded for Nova. And our Naveed, with his work, has been presented to Nova. I cannot just understand or take in the hugeness of this situation. 50 years from now, whoever we are alive, we will talk about this night that we used to know some person, a good friend of ours, who was featured in Nova, and we were invited to his house to watch it all together. It's just simply that big. So, like many children that Naveed has helped in our society, the burden is on them now is to do even better work. Because what has been proven tonight is meritocracy wins in this country, in this society. So our children, our grandchildren, he has basically set an example that they have to do better even to do things like this. He is the guiding light. And there's two lines that I remember from Tagore's poetry, which I cannot translate in English, but I must say it in Bengali. And hopefully you will agree with me. আজ কি গান গেয়েছে পাখি এসেছে রবির পর